Man,
I learned in that moment that the saying "don't cry over spilled milk" is not.
She come back up that hill, drenched in milk, like nothing in the pail, just drenched in it, and just upset and crying. And I'm like,
Dean Family Acres. So I'm here with Jason and Robyn Rehr, and they are from BigBear Homestead, and they came and actually helped with the presentation today here at Homesteaders of the Southeast. So I'm just gonna let them kind of introduce themselves, talk a little bit. If you haven't heard of them, they're kind of a big deal, and at least some people claim that. So I'm gonna let them kind of just
back there. Who you talking to?
share a few things, and then we'll kind of jump back in.
Well, we're BigBear Homestead. We have 21 acres in northeast Georgia. We are on our road to self-reliance, self-sufficiency. We've been on this road, working down this road for the last 15 plus years, and it's been a journey, an exciting journey, and one that I would not trade any of the hiccups or speed bumps that we had along the way to get to where we are now.
No, because we're able to share them with other people that haven't been there. Like, you know, you start hearing somebody talk about doing something a certain way, you can be like, that's a great idea, but let me tell you what happens when you do that.
Yeah, we did that, and it didn't work.
Believe it or not, our YouTube channel, we started because we went looking for information on stuff and we couldn't find it. The biggest one was the milk cow. We went out, bought a milk cow, and then didn't know how to set everything up to be able to milk them. And
I got a funny story that goes along with that if you want me to
and
share.
and so now we, you know, that's how our channel just evolved, was putting out information out there for people who hadn't quite thought about doing it a certain way, like, don't do this. Like, it was really, at the beginning, it was don't do this, because this cost us $1,000.
Our like when we bought our first dairy cow, it was full-blown Holstein, big dairy cow. We
She's
knew
huge. She was like
nothing.
this tall.
Big lady.
Big.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew. When I say nothing, we knew that a cow made milk. It had 4 legs and it ate grass. That's about
And
as
then
far
you
as
like
we
to
knew.
drink it.
Yes, that's about it.
And so this was way back in 07, 08, you know, when the recession was going on and milk prices were starting to go through the roof. And so we're like, well, let's just go buy a cow. Well, we did that. And so, but we remember when I say we know nothing. So my wife was thinking, well, it's just like Little House. And so she went out there beside the cow
With a bucket.
with a bucket, and she started trying to milk the cow with it not blocked in it at all or anything.
Out in the open pasture.
Out in the open pasture. And she would get out there, and then she would start singing some old hymns, like I Fly Away, and the cow would be still. So I'm looking at, the cow absolutely hated my guts, because the guy that we got it from was built like me, had a beard like me, but he would always, with the cattle prod. I mean, all
so
the time.
she was skittish of
So
him.
she hated my guts. And so I had to stay up at the top. And I'm sitting up at the top and I'm listening, and I'm listening to my wife sing and just really enjoying it. And then I hear ka-clang, clang. And my wife went from singing gospel music to making sailors blush. She
so
went
bad.
Man, she was
I
mad.
learned in that moment that the saying "don't cry over spilled milk" is not.
She come back up that hill, drenched in milk, like nothing in the pail, just drenched in it, and just upset and crying. And I'm like, baby, calm down. We'll try it again in 12 hours. It's no big deal. I said, it's the worst thing I ever said in my entire 17 years of marriage. I said, besides, I heard it's good for your skin.
Yeah. And I have like milk all over my face, which, for the record, cow milk is actually pretty good for your skin. So when you start milking and you get a little bit of milk on your hands, like I have probably some of the softest working hands there are, because when you get that milk and you get some of that cream, the oil from the cream, it's actually pretty good for you. So.
But eventually, we was sharing it at church, and one of the old timers said, "I'll be over after church."
Yeah.
And he came over and he showed us how to block it in and how to just take a gate and cut some of the bars
Holes
out of it,
So you can reach through.
so we could reach
Right.
through and milk. And that was one of the things that kind of inspired us to start our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel has always been, it's just mostly been about teaching, and it's always been, well, we did this, and this really hurt. Whether it was financially, physically, or emotionally, this really hurt. So let us share what we learned out there. YouTube gave us that platform to be able to do it, and that's what we do. I mean, to this day, we still, that's our main focus. I think it says on our banner, it says reaching through teaching, reaching community through teaching, and that's one of the things that we.
She came up with a great phrase there.
I did.
Yeah, she did. That one was her.
I knew it before you said it.
I honestly say that. It was.
So, you guys were the only ones from outside of the state of South Carolina. How'd that feel?
Good.
Good.
We felt like the superstars.
It's like 2.5 hours.
We like to be different. Trailblazers.
I will say that I kind of did put that plug in because I knew you could take it. And I said, is anybody here not from South Carolina? No one raised their hand. I said, well, we've got someone coming a little bit late.
And of course he's coming late.
Because they have a milk cow and they needed a little bit of time, so I graciously gave that to you.
Yeah, we had to figure out which end you had to milk from.
Because you're from Georgia, right?
That's it. Anna Marie.
She's just batting 1,000 today, ain't she?
Yeah, you're
knocking them out of the park.
Between.
Knocking them out of the park today.
Well, we appreciate you coming and presenting y'all both and talking. Even though it was a little bit long, I think it was great information.
I warned
because
you.
people kept having questions.
Yes.
That's why.
I warned you. I told you that when I get up there and I start talking, and once I get done talking and I open it up for questions, when people start asking questions, especially about predator control, you know, I want to get as many people as educated and as informed about predator control as I can, because it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. Sooner or later, you're going to have a predator issue. More likely sooner than later. You know, and so the more tools that people have in their toolbox, they can do to better equip themselves and to be able to protect their livestock, their garden, and their homestead in general. Yeah. But I want to thank you for inviting us here. I think small groups like this is vitally important right now. It's like when I said at the end of the Q&A, I think everybody should get contact information from one another, because at the end of the day, little get-togethers like this are more important than the big gathering ones. Because yeah, you can get a lot of information at some of your bigger gathering ones, but here, this is where your contact is. This is where your community is. So if you run into an issue with a pig, or you're trying to put up a barn or run fencing or something like that, you can reach into this community and they'll help. You'll come and help one another. And you barbecue up a pig and have a fence pulling day, or you cook some stuff up, and then you just getting big tasks done. Because one of the most daunting things that you look at when you start getting into this and being in it as long as we are, if you don't have like super deep pockets, when you're starting to add structure, you're starting to look at perimeter fencing and stuff like that, you're looking at their big jobs.
And a lot of man, and a lot of man hours. It's not even just about the equipment and stuff that you need. It could be just how long it takes. And a lot of us, we don't have that time, so it gets pushed off and it doesn't get done.
Because if you got a milk cow, you're milking every 12 hours.
Yeah.
That's
in
there. And then you've got your chickens to take care of, your pigs to take care of, this to take care of.
And don't forget yourself, because you got to eat in there somewhere.
You got to eat, you got to sleep, go to church, all this stuff, all this normal life stuff that you have. But then it's like, I need to put up a perimeter fence, or I need to put up a hog pen, or I need to put up a chicken coop, or I need to build an eggmobile, or I need to do this, need to do that. And there are times that when you're looking at building something, that you may get stumped, or you may be like, that's a good idea, but I don't know if it is. And if you put it out there in your community, somebody may have already done it and said, I thought that, I tried that. It didn't work exactly how I thought. Change this. Like one of the prime examples is like I was talking to Jeremiah about the chick shop, and he said when it comes to the baskets, add 1/4 of an inch. He said because with the original plans that they had, the baskets would stick a little. He said just add, I think he said I add like a quarter of an inch in your bucket.
And you wouldn't think.
And you would have never known that.
Like quarter of an inch.
And another good thing with resource, a perfect example, last summer we were chasing a cow around town, and at one point we just needed bodies. You didn't even have to know what you're doing, just stand there.
Right.
But because we didn't have community, we had nobody to reach out to. So it was literally me, my husband, and 2 girls in the middle of July in the heat of the day trying to chase down a cow. It just didn't happen.
Right.
So if you had 5 or 6 people, you could say, hey, come over, we'll have pizza afterwards. I just need you to stand right here.
Right.
Yeah, just
It would have
be a
been,
body.
It would have been done in 5 minutes, but it was 5
He'd have been out
hours.
5 minutes later because that longhorn boy, he did not.
Yeah.
The other one was running through y'all's garden and everything.
Oh yeah.
Everything. Yeah, he ran through 5 strands of barbed wire, the 4-prong barbed wire fence. He just didn't
I
care.
didn't taste.
We don't know. Ask
Jeremiah.
Jess and Maya.
I didn't even want to eat him. I was so mad at him. Jeremiah's like, I'll buy him, just get the whole thing ground, and I'm not done.
And we told him he had to pray over it every time before he ate. That thing was evil.
Thing
Wow.
possessed.
Wow.
Yep. So.
Well, I certainly appreciate you guys coming and your support and just your stories about why. Not just you got to do this, you need to do this, whatever. I think.
Yeah, everything that we share, we always try to share the why, because the why is what helps things kind of gets people to help learn it, because then they understand. Because even with math or really any subject in school, once the kid understood the why, it was easier for them to grab the concept. And it's the same thing here. If you understand the why, you have to share the why.
I've learned that with my kids, I told you so doesn't go over real well. It worked for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we never questioned that, but
nowadays, it doesn't really go over real well.
And the other thing too with the why is once you start to learn that, then you can apply it to other things too,
yep.
and so then you grow because you're able to apply that to other, other things.
Yeah, so the why is crazy. But hey, thanks for letting us come and be a part of this community. I can't wait for the Facebook group and stuff to get up and get active, because you're like 20 minutes from us.
20-ish.
Probably about 20-ish.
Yeah.
And there's the other family. They're like an hour. They're down there in McCormick. And
There's another guy that was from our family too.
Being able to, it's like we didn't even know you guys existed. And that's one of the great things and not so great things about social media and YouTube. If YouTube would have put you in front of me when I was scanning or when it come in one of my searches,
But I'm like, wait
then
a
I would
minute.
have learned about you.
Right.
But
They're gonna push
you learned about us before we learned about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like you emailed us, you shot us a message. You're like, hey, I'm county, and I'm like, Robyn, this dude is like right down the road.
Yeah.
And
That's
so,
what's nice about these is that you start to bring in people from the area, and you can be like, hey, you're right down the street from me.
and that's what's important about things like these. And ones like this, like I was saying earlier, groups like this is what changes things. This is what puts McDonald's out of business. This is what changes the broken food system. This is what kills food deserts. This is what changes our country and getting it back to where it should be. It's small groups like this. This is how America started. This is a small group of people that said, I'm tired of the tyranny. And then they started talking to another, that unbeknownst to them, there was another small group of that over here. And then they all kind of got together and said, hey, let's make America. And so this is how it begins, and it all starts here with grassroots and small groups. And so I'm thankful you let us be a part of it.
Cool. Thank you.
I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Glad to have y'all.
Yep.
I don't think he has one.
Who, me or him?
You said you get his good side in.
Nobody likes my kids very much.
Nobody likes your kids?
That's a lie.
You don't like them? Well, you know what they say, it doesn't fall very far from the tree. No, it's definitely both.
They're all my stepkids.
It's definitely both.
They're all my stepkids.
As I can relate 110%, it's definitely both. And the ones that I tend to butt heads with are the ones that are just like me.
Just like you, exactly. He has the same problem.
Yeah, that one. She's
Yep,
just like me.
they're exactly the same.
That one's just like me too. The one.
There you go.
So
I have 2 that are just like me
They
though,
probably
so
have
that's
throwing
even.
Georgia and South Carolina jokes back.
They probably are. They probably are. Robyn. And
Edit point.
it's like take 17.
I'm telling you,
Make it
it's
Hey guys, Matt Dean here from Dean Family Acres, and just wanted to give a big shout out to Jason and Robyn Rehr from BigBear Homestead, as we are highlighting them as our 100th episode. We figured it'd be a big episode, so why not include BigBear Homestead? Appreciate their support and looking forward to getting to know them more in the future. Thanks so much guys for everyone subscribing and just for us continue to be able to grow the channel and just what we're doing. Y'all continue to connect, South Carolina. Have a blessed day.